everybody, it's Daphne and you're very welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for coming to spend some time with me today. Excuse the bare face and the very minimal look, but I'm sure you can tell I'm going to do a get ready with me. And this one is inspired by the makeup look that Margot Robbie wore to the Oscars. I just thought she was so elegant, so chic. So it was a very simple, understated look, and yet she was stunningly beautiful. And I have a picture here on my phone, and I hope that I will be able to show it to you without having a sheen on it from the window. There she is. If I tilt it that way. Now, there she is. You can see that her eyes are very simple. They're kind of shimmery, silvery shimmery. Not a lot of liner. It's mainly about the lashes being very, the lashes being very defined, and a kind of a glowy look, a warm glowy look, and her skin is just luminous. And it goes very well with the dress she wore, which was this one, and it's all this, as I'm sure you know, it was a Chanel dress. So it was, I'm sorry, I'm just tilting it so that I don't catch a reflection. That was her Chanel dress. So the pared back minimal look just suited her perfectly. So I was reading online to see if I could discover what products and what colours, and her makeup artist was called Patty Dubroff. And she used mainly, obviously, Chanel products because it was a Chanel dress. So I couldn't find out a lot, but apparently on her lips it was Chanel Rouge Cocoa, excuse me, 432 Cecile. And she used Poudre Lumiere 10 in Ivory Gold and the Chanel blush in Tender Rose, and they were subtle silvery eyes. Shimmery eyes and a kind of a neutral lip. So I'm going to use what I have and try and recreate something similar to that look, because to me Margot Robbie is very much like a modern day Grace Kelly, and particularly with her new haircut, her bob. I think she has similar bone structure, similar colouring, and she's very beautiful. So I'm going to get stuck in, and I'm going to start by priming my face with the Becca Backlight Primer. Now you can't read this because the writing on it is just, I don't think you'll be able to read that. Oh, you can. There you go. This gives a lovely glow from within, and that's what I want to achieve. So I'm going to place this on my skin, and I hope you can see. I hope the lighting is okay as I'm using natural lighting. And thank you to everybody for your good wishes when we had that really bad weather last week. The sun is splitting the trees today, and it's much warmer than it was this time last week, I can tell you that. We had, in case anybody hasn't watched before, we had a couple of feet of snow, which I know for a lot of countries that's nothing, but when you live in a country that isn't used to that and isn't prepared, it's a lot. Now I want to get a glowy look, so I'm going to use the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow, and it's in the colour, where's my glasses, it's number 203, but I have to read the name, Nude Beige. There it is, Nude Beige. So in order to give this an even more glowy look, I am going to first of all give it a little shake. I usually like to do that with my foundations. Oh, I'm forgetting, sorry. I have to conceal or correct under my eyes because I got a lot of blueness in there, and this is my Catrice Camouflage Cream that really helps to neutralize that blueness. As you can see. Now I'm not going to conceal just yet. I'm hoping the lighting is okay. Now back to the L'Oreal Pro Glow, and I'm going to pop some out on my hand here. I've probably put a little bit more than I should. And in order to give it an even greater glow, I am going to mix a little drop of my Derma E. It's rosehip and cranberry seed oil, which I have only, as you can see, I've started using recently. Anybody who's watched me before knows that I love rosehip oil. It's been part of my skincare for many, many years, and I absolutely love it. And I've been using that new one for about 10 days now, and I love it already. It was recommended to me by Dawn from Dawn's Life Over 40. I'll link her channel below. She loved it, so, and she and I both love Derma E products. So I said I have to try it. So I've got it and I love it, and I've had compliments, people actually saying to me, "You look glowing," and I'm like, that's great, it's obviously working. So I'm gonna I've mixed a little into my foundation, as you can see, and I am going to pop that on just with my finger. Like that. Normally I put my foundation, I spread my foundation with a blank canvas brush, but this time I'm actually going to use, this is a Sephora, and it is the number 47. It's Pro Foundation Brush. So that's it there, and it's kind of an angled brush, and I'm just going to take what's left on my hand. I'm going to use a small mirror, so I'm not using my viewfinder, and I will spread the foundation with that. And the oil will give the foundation just a little bit more of a glow, because she has a real natural beauty, and I've watched her being interviewed, and she's just a lovely person as well, very full of life and not conceited, she doesn't have airs or graces, she's just an ordinary girl and very into her family, which is lovely. So just spreading that to even out my complexion and give a nice subtle glow, and I hope you can see that. And I'm going to just bring down what's left on my brush onto my neck, like so. I'm going to do an updated skincare video very soon, but I want to give a couple of products a little bit longer to work before I can give you a true review of them. Now I'm just going to check and see, does that looks even. It looks more even in real life. I'm going to pop a little bit more onto my cheeks, just because I have redness in my cheeks, and I generally tend to pop a little bit more on just to even out the complexion. When I am done putting my foundation on, I nearly always go back in with a little bit more, just to conceal that and correct that redness. So I hope you can see that that has evened out my complexion, sorry, quite nicely. Now, put that brush away, and I'm conscious of the time. Alright, I'm going to just powder a very small bit, just to help it kind of, just to stay a little bit better. And I always use my blank canvas, and it is the F25, it's a powder brush. And I'm just going to just put a little powder. I'm using another mirror here as well, so I'm not going to powder everywhere, just a small little bit, just to kind of where it would normally wear away, like so, and then just bring it down my neck. Now, It's a kind of a glowy, warm look, so I'm not going to contour as such. I'm going to warm up with a bronzer. I have my things everywhere and they're moving. This is the bronzer I'm going to use, which is from my, it's from my Pippa palette, blank canvas Pippa palette, and this one is very popular in our house. This is the bronzer here. As you can see, I didn't hit pan on that, my daughter did. This is called Amour. So it's a nice subtle bronzer, particularly if you're fair-skinned like I am. I find it difficult to find a bronzer that really suits my skin tone and doesn't make me look orange. So I'm just going to take a little of that, and for this I'm just using a Bare Minerals, an original Bare Minerals brush. The way you nearly always get one with the Bare Minerals powder original foundation, so I have a few of them. So I'm just going to warm up here along my hairline, and don't worry, I will blend everything. And then kind of, actually I'm going to use, for this I'm going to use a smaller one, a smaller brush for around my cheeks. This is just a small little powder brush. I don't know even where I got it. I'm kind of down in the number 3. So I'm just kind of warming up my skin. Kind of hitting where the sun would hit. So that has warmed up my skin. Oh, the brushes are making my nose itch. That has warmed up my skin nicely. Now for blush, she has a very natural glow, and I thought I would use, it was definitely a Chanel blush that they used, and I haven't got that colour, but I have, mine is Orchid Rose, and it's number 15. I think hers was Tender Rose. What did I say? Tender Rose. This is Orchid Rose. So this is probably slightly, oops, there goes the brush, slightly more peachy maybe. Anyway, I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use my Bobbi Brown blush brush that is I use all the time, and you kind of have to work this to get the colour pay off, and I'm just going to place it on the apples of my cheeks. So you can see there, it gives a nice fresh glow to the skin without being overly contoured or sculpted. It's a very natural look, because let's face it, she's so beautiful. She probably could have walked down the red carpet with no makeup on and she still would have wowed everybody. Now I will come back to highlight, but I'll wait until I have everything else done. So that's my base and my bronzer and the blush. Okay. Now for eyes, I struggled with the eyes a little bit because it's very difficult to get just that right shade and to see exactly where she has put it. It's, you know, you have to, I was watching little snippets on YouTube of her being interviewed on the red carpet, and I was pausing it and so on to try and see exactly the way her eyes were done. So I'm going to do them my way, and I am going to use my primer, which I cannot see. What have I done with my primer? I'm just going to pause. I found it. And I'm just using the NYX Proof It waterproof base. I'm nearly out of this, so I need to get a new one, and it's a little doe foot applicator. It's kind of creamy coloured, and I'm just going to pop that on my lids and spread it. I really enjoy watching the red carpet for Oscars or the Golden Globes. I love seeing the fashion and the makeup and the hair, and so that's the primer on. I'm just going to let that set, and I'll show you the colours that I'm going to use. These are the ones that I have kind of played with. I'm going to use my MAC shadows, and this is out of the customizable palette. But the colours I'm going to use are this one sort of as a base. I'll tell you the colours in a second. And this one as the shimmer. So this one is kind of a peachy skin colour, and it's called Orb. It doesn't really have a shimmer in it. And the other one, as far as I can, I'm dreadful for remembering the names of things. I should know them. Yeah, I was right. This is called Shroom, and it is kind of, it's a sort of a champagne-y, sparkly. It's not too sparkly. It's got a little shimmer in it. So that's Shroom. So I'm going to use those two, and I might use a little of this one here, which is called, I think it's Sketch. Oops, I am all fingers today. Fingers and thumbs. This one is called Wedge. So it's a kind of a nice taupey neutral colour. Okay, I'm going to use a MAC flat brush. The colour, then I think it's a 232. It's just a flat shadow brush, and I am going to put Orb on first, and I'm just going to pack that on, just pat it on, just to kind of give a base. That's a very popular colour in my house too, because my daughter I've three daughters, but two are of an age to wear makeup. One doesn't really borrow my makeup too much. My older girl doesn't really borrow it too much. She does sometimes, but my other daughter, who's 18 and a half, borrows it all the time. So if I'm missing anything, I know where it is. So that's just Orb on the lid. Now I'm going to put a very, very light application of Wedge, literally in my crease. Well, actually I'm taking it up a little bit because my eyes are deep set, and I don't want to put too much of this on, but it's literally just to define my crease, and that's more on that side. I'm happier with this one than this one, but sure, we'll sort it. Okay, I'm going to wipe off that shadow brush. No, that's the wrong one. Now, where did I put it? Oh, there it is. The flat brush, this one here. So wipe that off, and I'm going to go in with Shroom. And again, I'm just going to pack it onto my lid. Like so. Keep going until I get the intensity of colour that I want and the overall effect. Now, her look wasn't overly shimmery, it was just very pared back and very simple and very, very pretty. So you can see that that is very, very simple. Just the colour packed on and up into the, not higher than the crease. So I'm going to take a fluffy brush, which is just an Urban Decay, and I'm just going to blend those. She doesn't even appear to have an outer V, but you can see there. I might just go back in with what's left on that shader brush. I can find it, there it is, and a little bit of Wedge, just to very, very slightly define that crease a bit more. And every time I put a brush down, it disappears. There it is. Now, her brows are quite defined. She has a very natural brow. So I'm going to use what I always use. Did I leave it out? Yes. My NYX eyebrow pencil, which is the dual-ended, and it is in the colour Charcoal. Now you can see that my brows are very, they're there, but they're just hiding some of the time. So I'm going to brush them up with a spoolie, and because even though her brows are very natural, they're it's a good strong brow, so I'm going to have to do a bit of work on mine. So I'm going to start by just defining the underneath part of the brow so that I have a line to work from, and the basic shape. And she actually has quite an arch on her brows, I think, anyway. So I'm going to, in little tiny strokes, just as if they were natural hairs, and covering my own natural brow hair, work up. And this can take a little bit of time because, you know, you have to keep checking. So there's one, and you can see the difference. And there's a little brush on this, so I'm just going to smooth it. It makes it look slightly more natural. The same thing on this side. I'm going to give myself a baseline. I'm not going to go any lower than that, and I'm going to bring it in a little bit because my brow hair is a little bit sparse there, and working up in small little strokes and getting the shape that I want. You can hear my phone, the text on my phone. Oops, little smudge there. This eyebrow always has a better shape. It has a kind of a natural arch in it, whereas this one doesn't. Let's see now. I might bring that in a little bit more just to match the other. There we go. Now her lashes are very defined, and the roots of the lashes are very defined. So I'm going to use, I'm not going to do liner as such, but I'm going to use, I just want to check that I don't have a message from one of my kids. That's fine. Now I'm going to take my Sephora eye contour pencil, and it's in the colour Tiramisu, and I better hurry up. And I'm going to just go in literally into the base of my lashes. I'm not going to do a wing or anything. I'm just defining the roots. I'm not going to take the liner into the inner corner. I'm just defining the roots of my lashes and down a little bit so that I can extend. My eyes are quite small, and I don't want to make them look even smaller, so I'm just going to bring that line down a little bit so you can see where I've just defined them just a small little bit, and then I'll do the same thing on top, and I'm literally going into the roots. I'm trying not to touch the skin at all because she doesn't have a lined look. It's very natural. So just work it into the roots of the lashes like so. Now, as I said, her lashes are very defined, so I don't always do this because I'm just not a great fan of doing it, but I'm going to curl my lashes. So I'm going to pause for a second and I'll let you see what they look like now, but it's very difficult to curl them while I'm on camera, so I'm just going to pause. Now I hope you can see the difference that even just curling them makes. And that I'm not crazy about this as a MAC eyelash curler. It's a half curler because my eyes are so deep set. Now I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal Lash Paradise, which is here, and I'm going to try my best to define the lashes. So right into the base first and pull up and out, and I've already smudged it. And her lashes didn't look overly clumpy. In fact, I thought they looked quite feathery and defined. That's the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. I will correct that. It's a fabulous mascara. It's just getting quite clumpy, but it's coming to the end of its time anyway, so I would certainly reconsider repurchasing it, or consider repurchasing it. Not reconsider. So I'm trying to just give as much definition and separation and length as I can. And a little on my bottom lashes. And I had toyed with putting a little bit of liner into the roots of my bottom lashes, but it doesn't work for me. I get enough definition when I just use the mascara, like so. And you can play around with it and put more layers of mascara on. And again, I always seem to get a better effect on my lashes on my right eye than my left eye. I don't know why. I'm very unbalanced at the moment. And I know I've smudged a little bit, so I'll clean that up. So that's the L'Oreal Lash Paradise, and I'm on 26 minutes and I better hurry. Okay, I am going to conceal and then I'm going to do the lips. Now this is my Lancome Effacerne, what is it, the Smoothing, Long Lasting Softening Concealer. You need the smallest amount. I think this is Angie Hot and Flashy's favourite concealer as well. I really love it. And I'm going to use a MAC foundation brush to put this on. Need my mirror again. I can just correct any little mistakes there. And I might need a little more. Yes. Tiny little bit more. You really need the smallest amount. This is a lovely concealer. It's so creamy. If I could open it, it would be really good. There we go. Now, it's just so creamy. And for me, it doesn't settle into lines or wrinkles or anything like that. And it brightens as well. Sorry, that's just the handle bumping up against the mirror in front of me. Okay, my lips I am going to do with, I'm going to line with my, because her lips are very natural in this, and neutral, so I'm going to line with Charlotte Tilbury's Pillow Talk. Now, you can hear that noise, that's my dog. She's taking a big sigh. I'm going to slightly overline my lips because Margot has very beautiful full lips, and particularly on her bottom lip. So I don't know if you'd be able to see that. I've slightly overlined. And again on the bottom. And I'm sorry, the sun is going in and out. So I'm going to mix a couple of colours to get the shade I want, because I was toying between the L'Oreal, it's called Nude, and it's Colour Reach 235, and that's that one there. Which another very similar one is a Kiko. It's slightly darker. Actually, I don't think I'll use that one. And this is a Rimmel, and it is in the colour Rock and Roll Nude number 54. So I'm going to mix my L'Oreal and they're quite similar, but there's a little bit of a difference. Yeah, so I'm going to go in with the Rimmel first. And then top it with the slightly darker L'Oreal. I look at her picture again, and I'm watching the time is 29. If you can see her lip colour there. This is coming off pinker on camera. It's not in reality, but it does need to be darkened. So I'm going to darken it with my Kiko. And Kiko doesn't tend to put colours, they just put numbers. And I'm just darkening the under part of my lip. And leaving the centre slightly lighter. Okay, so that's the basic. Oh, I have to highlight. Just give me 2 seconds because I left it in the drawer. I actually had to refilm this section because when I thought I had paused my camera, I hadn't. So there was a large empty space of me moving around the room and so on. And then when I thought I switched it back on to record, I'd actually paused it. I'd done everything in reverse, if you know what I mean. So I've actually put my highlighter on, but I'm going to show you how I did it. And I'm using the Catrice highlighter. It's a powder highlighter and it's in 10 Light Infusion, so it's a lovely champagne-y coloured highlighter. And literally what I did was, I have a sort of an angled powder brush. You can see it there. It's by B for Superdrug. You get it in Superdrug. So I'm literally just going to touch my cheekbone there. I'm not going to put too much on because I've already put it on. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. So you can see the highlight there and there, and then I put a little on my brow bone there, just with the very tip of the brush, and a little up here, and a little on my nose, and a little on my Cupid's bow. So that's my highlighter. And that's more or less the finished look. So Margot was wearing a beautiful white sparkly Chanel gown. I'm going to not try and recreate the gown because I think there was 700 hours of work went into it. I am just going to change my top and make it look more sort of evening-y, and I do have a white top that I can use, and I'll show it to you in a second. So I have just changed my top. This is just an off-white knit, you know, a fine knit sweater that has these lovely kind of studded details. It gives it a lovely sparkle effect, and it has this type of a sleeve. It's very pretty. I'll just let you see. It's quite fitted, and it's a very pretty top for evening. So her dress was white with lots of diamonds on it. I'll just show you. I'm sure you've seen it, but there's the picture. It's absolutely stunning. Really, really stunning. Very simple, but very elegant and chic. And there's the makeup. So I hope you think that it's, well, it's my interpretation of her look, and I just put a very simple wave in my hair because her hair is, she had it cut and it's a bob, a long bob, and she just has a very simple wave in it, and I just did that with my my straightening iron. Just put a wave in it rather than a curl as such. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I hope that I can piece this together properly. Thank you so much to all my new subscribers. It really means so much to me that you're taking the time to watch my videos, and that you're enjoying them, and that you're subscribing. Thank you so much. And if you haven't already subscribed, maybe you would think of hitting that subscribe button and the little bell beside it so you'll be notified as to when I upload my videos. And if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up as well, it really helps. So hope you've enjoyed this, a very simple look, and I will talk to you again very soon in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.